Today, we're getting motivated. I'm going to share with you my best morning routine ever. If you're someone who's been trying to get the most out of life and optimize performance, then I'm sure you've heard of a morning routine.
What's that all about, anyway?
Dozens of books have been written on morning routines with advice on why they're important to how to create the best one. The problem for most of us is our lives are crammed so full of things, we don't have time to think about adding a morning routine. Who in the world has time to add an hour in the morning to an already overcrowded day? Probably, like most people, when the alarm goes off, you hit snooze 17 times until you finally decide to get up or smash the alarm clock into oblivion.
That's all pretty normal.
What else is possible? I have been experimenting with morning routines since I was in 3rd grade. When I was a kid, it was by force, and now it is by choice. Whether by force or choice, they produce amazing benefits. What is the reason for such a routine? Simply to make you the best you can be every day. The most energy, the most peace, the most productivity, and the most love. You get the picture. The idea is that if you are your best self, you are happiest and most productive. After decades of experimentation, here is what I do for a morning routine. I use a simple acronym, SPEM, S-P-E-M. S stands for spiritual, or that part of life that deals with the unseen world, the higher power, or God, if you prefer. P stands for physical, which is the body that we have that carries us through life. E stands for emotional, which includes all the relationships that we have. M stands for mental, which is our learning and growth. This includes business and work. Let's start very simply. You can add later. For the S, take 10 minutes and engage in some spiritual activity. This can be prayer, meditation, reading sacred or motivating literature, or something else that connects you with a greater purpose. For the P or physical part, I spend 10 minutes waking up the body. I do this even if I'm going to work out later or engage in other vigorous physical activity. This is designed simply to wake up the body and get the blood flowing. Examples are yoga, martial arts, stretches, or something similar. E is 10 minutes focused on relationships. Perhaps you can send a couple text messages intended to strengthen or repair a relationship. The emotional part of life is so critical, and choosing to spend a few minutes focused on important relationships in the morning can be big. M is mental. I spend 10 minutes reading a chapter or two in a book, usually related to work or another topic of interest. Combining these 4 things only takes 40 minutes. What I notice is that by touching all the areas of my life, I'm awake, focused, and ready to go. I notice on the days I don't do it, I'm less clear, less focused, and I forget things. Overall, it creates time. It does not take time. This sounds simple enough, but I know from the coaching work I do that most people wake up completely differently.
Completely differently.
The alarm clock goes off and the battle begins. 7 snooze taps later, you're still hiding under the covers in complete overwhelm, thinking about all the things you need to do today and wondering when it will be Friday. You stumble out of bed and have no idea where to begin. Then you reach for the phone and hope that some distraction there will ease the anxiety. Perhaps you peruse your Facebook page to laugh at some cats on roller skates or some funny memes. Instead, you end up in a rage because of someone's stupidity and insensitive comments. You hurry up and slam through some grooming, at least for the upper part of your body. By now, you're probably late for your first conference call, since we're all home using Zoom these days. Effectively, your day starts somewhere around noon. Somewhere during the day, you realize that this habitual routine must change. You firmly declare you really want to do something different, so your days are more productive and more fun. You spend some time on Google looking up ways to have a productive day. You watch some YouTube videos where people pump you up with ideas for motivation. Perhaps you even buy a book or an Audible to listen to during your downtime. You listen to the book and watch more videos and determine for sure there must be a better way. There are so many ideas, and it seems so confusing. The truth is far simpler, and that's great news for you. Great news.
Great news.
Great news.
Great news.
Here are some simple steps to get this moving and effective in your life. First, decide what's important to you. What do you really want to do over the next 3 months or 6 months that is different than you're doing today? 2, whatever routine you design needs to fit you and your circumstances. 3, whatever you start with, it's okay to change it until it fits your needs completely. 4, regardless of how focused you are to start with, you will fall off the wagon. At that point, you have a choice about beating yourself up or simply recommitting to the process. 5, most of all, have some fun. This is designed to make your life more productive and more enjoyable. It's not simply an element aimed at cramming more into a limited day. 6, there's no wrong way to go about this. Play with it until it's fun and works for you. Now, let's paint a much more attractive picture. Project yourself 30 days into the future. You see yourself effortlessly flying out of bed when your alarm goes off. You're excited to meet the day. You try different things in your morning ritual. You always make it satisfying and energizing. Whatever you end up doing, it's always with the idea of completely connecting with all parts of your life. You love the day and you're completely focused. Every day is an awesome victory. You can hardly even remember the haphazard and disconnected lifestyle you used to have as a habit just a few short weeks earlier. You're more focused at work. You make less mistakes, and even things that used to bother you somehow become less annoying and drain less energy. No question, some days are absolutely awesome, And some days are still meh. But nothing disturbs you in a big way, and you feel completely in control of your life. On top of that, you're always trying new things and learning better ways to connect with yourself, stay focused on the purpose you have for that day and for life in general. And every day is an adventure. This might sound like some magic fairyland, but I know from personal experience that it is possible, and you can have this magic in your own life in less than a month. All it takes is 4 simple decisions and a few easy steps. Number 1, make a firm decision that you are going to change how you start the day. You will experiment with it and make it work until it is something you can't live without. Number 2, do a little research on Google, in books, or talking to others you know have effective routines. Number 3, start. Nothing works like diving right in. Try your own version and make it fun. End the war with the alarm clock simply by deciding you will get up when it goes off. Set it early enough so you have time to give yourself 45 minutes of personal time. Number 4, make adjustments that work for you and feel good. Since there's no wrong way to do this, all the adjustments are good as long as they keep you moving in a positive direction. Number 5, persevere. Because this is a new habit, like any change, there will be a huge gravity pulling you back toward the old way of life. But you know there is something better for you ahead. Besides, who wants to live that old stereotype forever? Before long, you will be one of those calm, centered, and focused people who have a powerful routine, is more productive than others can believe, and accomplishes goals that astound all of your friends. That's it for today's video on getting motivated with my best morning routine ever. I know that many of us don't have a formalized or structured morning routine. I can tell you that having a morning routine will be a game changer. If you have one, leave a comment on what you do. If you don't, let me know what your challenges are. I have links to my other videos on getting motivated and doing the impossible. So if you'd like, stick around for the next video. And thank you to those of you who've subscribed to the Ultimate Life Formula. Love to you.